And welcome back to my channel. I'm extremely really sorry for not being active for such a long time. There was quarantine, lockdown and stuff like that, so I was not able to continue for a very long time. I was out of content actually, and because I was out of content, I couldn't make videos, and I wasn't in a very good mood last year also because of stuff. A lot of stuffs were going on in my mind, and a lot of things were going on last year, and I just didn't do it. I just couldn't do it, and I'm extremely sorry for that. And I was actually also out of content, and then when I was making certain videos, and I was deleting all of those after making, because it was just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right actually. So that's why I didn't make. And then I thought it has been a very long gap between YouTube and me for a very long time. And now, from now on, I promise you that I won't be very far, because I'm gonna be uploading one video every single month. Yes, one video, because I think because I always try to upload 3-4 videos. I always try to in a month, or 2 videos, and this creates a lot of pressure in me. I get out of content. I have studies, I have other stuffs to do. So that's why I think it will be better if I just upload one video. So you will get me this year, whole year, with one video each month. So yeah, that's all. And then we will I will upload every one video every month, and you'll get to see me every month. So yeah, I promise that. So let's get to the stuff I want to share with you this in this video. 2020, two things happened to me which were really good out of all the bad stuff and everything. One thing, I realized who are actually my dear ones and who are actually not. I realized actually a lot. 2020 has given me a mirror to look at myself, my own mistakes, my own things, and I have learned a lot of things, and I've moved on. Believe me, I moved on from it this year, in this new year, also the last year. I have just realized a lot of things which has helped me a lot. Now, another thing which has been very good to me, other than every stuff, that is, I've read 9 books. Yes, that's not a very good counted if I say that I have read 9 books, but actually it's a great for me, because every year, because of studies and all that stuff, I can't read a lot of books. That's why it's very problematic for me to read a lot of books, and I have a lot of books to read. So that's why I think has been a good year for me with books also, because I have read 9 books. And it's a improvement for me, because I never read 9 books in a year. And if you have followed me on 2020 on the videos, you have seen that I have made kind of reviews and book stuff, because I was in book stuff last year, and very much into it also. Especially the last 3 months, I was completely in book. So yeah, so I'll share with you the 9 books I read in 2020. Let's get started. So as I say, 2020 is a good year, was a good year for me for books. So the first book I read in 2020 is Looking for Alaska by John Green. This is my second book of John Green, and this is the first book I read in 2020. So I'll come serially, like whatever first book I read, like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight, ninth, whatever, and then I'll come to rating it, like after finishing whatever I'll say about the books, and then I'll tell you whatever I have given ratings on Goodreads. If you follow me on social media, any social media like Facebook or Insta, if you are connected to me, you'll know I've given a story recently on Facebook that I have completed my Goodreads challenge for 2020, which were actually 9 books. So yeah, so Looking for Alaska is the story of Paige is a boy whose name is Miles. Yes, Miles. And he goes to this high school where there is a hostel. It's kind of a boarding school, and he meets Colonel, and I forgot the other guy's name. And then there is Alaska, who is not how we expect a girl to be, like in general, when we expect someone who's actually, her name is also Alaska, which is very different, and there is a reason why her name is Alaska, because she loves this name as well, but there's a concept about it. then there is he met those people, and then they become a friend or something, a friend group or something, and then they start to prank, do a lot of stuff, like really extreme stuff as well, because they are kind of like prank stars and they love to do it. And Paige also gets involved in these things. He gets into some good things, bad things, and their friendship is so like strong. Like Paige and everyone have this kind of friendship. They do a lot of funny things as well. So this is kind of like that. But then again, something happened which changed everyone's life, and they were shocked to know it. And this is why this book is like that. This book gives a very intense message through the book, and I loved this book, like seriously. Not more than The Fault in Our Stars, but of course equal, because it was so good book. I can't say how much it has, like I you can take notes in these books, because I haven't, but you can, like whoever wants to, like you can bookmark pages, this book, because when I started reading it, I didn't actually bookmark it, but I am sure when I reread it after a couple of years, I will actually bookmark this book, because this book is so good. It gives such a big big message, I can tell you, about depression and stuff. And these things, this book tells that you can't really know who is suffering what by just looking in their faces. And if you know them for 10 days or 15 days, you won't know that how much a person suffers, because you actually don't know them quite well. Even if you know them for months, and that's what has happened to Paige. He think that he knew her, or all of them think that they knew her, but actually how much things has happened, and how much worse things has gone, and how much they have taught themselves from it. It's actually commendable. And this book is actually written in a very different way. There are pages around like 89 days before. It's before and after, so there is like before, after, and count, and how many days after. It is 2 days before, and then there is 20 days after, and it's written like this. So I really enjoyed reading this book. Oh, the next book which I read after looking for Alaska is a very one of the book. You have seen me in 2020 doing videos and stuff, and everywhere that book was. Actually, that is not like my favorite or something, but it was because I read 190 pages of that book in 2019, and then because of studies and everything, I hold it, because I couldn't read it because of studies and stuff like that. I had to balance. So then I had to watch the movie, so I read the book. That is Dear John by Nicholas Sparks. Yes, I don't think I need to say a lot of things about this book, because I have a review, a full review, and about this book and the adaptation of it, like the movie and the book, and I have it on my YouTube channel. If you want to know more about it, you can just go and check out that video. But I'll say certain lines for it, because it's a story about a boy named John, who is an army officer, and he comes to vacation to his father's house, and then he meets a girl named Savannah, falls in love with her, and then they have this relationship started. They fall in love with each other, and then they have a long distance relationship, as he is in army and she stays there with her charity stuff and all that. They come to meet whenever he has vacation, and they spend time together and everything. But then there's a long distance thing, and they have no phone calls, because it is a very far area, it was written very before like 9/11 is a so 9/11 changes everything for them. And then they used to communicate with letters, and there was long distance, so it affected their relationship. And the story is about how these things affected them, and will they able to keep up with their relationship or not. So if you want to know more about Dear John, you can check out my review videos. Review video about it. I have a review video about this book and the movie adaptation of it, the differences and all that stuff. So I don't think I need to say anything about it more. The next book which I read is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. There is a review video of this one as well, which if you wanna see the review video, I haven't made about the adaptation of this book because I haven't seen it. I'm not interested to see it because I know I'll be disappointed just by looking at the trailer. So I haven't seen the adaptation, but I have given a full review of this book on my channel. If you wanna go and know, you can just watch the video, but I'll say a little about this anyway. So this book is about a girl and a boy, of course. The sun is also a star. Is about Daniel and Natasha. They fell in love in one day, and Daniel is a kind of a very emotional guy. He believes in love and stuff like that, and Natasha is a very practical girl, sorry. So she doesn't believe in love and stuff like that. So she's very practical and he is very emotional. Now Daniel is a Korean American, and Natasha is a Jamaican American. So Natasha is being deported forcefully because she is an illegal migrant. Her whole family is illegal migrant, and she is trying her heart and soul to stop it because her whole life is in America. So this is how it goes. She's fighting for these things, and while she is doing all this, she meets Daniel, and Daniel, who meets her, instantly feels a connection with her, and he's determined that he will make her believe in love. And initially they stay the whole day together, like things and stuff doing, when Natasha is fighting for it, and she has something, and she doesn't tell Daniel that she's going to be deported till a time when he finds out before that. And they're like, she is doing all that she can, but she can't resist her heart from falling in love with Daniel. And now what happens now, what the universe wants, and will they meet or not, and is she actually going to be deported or not, and whatever happens. And this is what the book is about. This book is so good, I can tell you, because it's, I know it's a one day love thing and not everyone likes this type of stuff, but it is very believable the way it's written, because, and this is written very beautifully. I can say, more than the plot, the story and everything, more than the characters, I love the way the writer wrote. I loved its writing, seriously, because it has perception, love, then a Natasha perception, a Daniel perception. See, this is how it's written. Like, you can know the both of their perception, because they both have talked here. Like, they have given their own perceptions here. She has written in this type that it has been given both of their perception together. So we know whatever happens in their mind, we know it. It's not one perception or the third person is writing it. No, it's their own perception. And that's what I love about the book, the writing style. So yeah, if you want to see the review, you can check it out. Next three books I read, that will become six, right? So the next three books I read, it's from one series, that is the selection series. The first three books, that is the selection, then the elite, the last one. These are the three books that I read. This as far, if you know about anything, the selection, these three books are of one story. So yeah, the two other books are of two stories, which I haven't read it. So the first book, the selection. Okay, so this is the book about it is a dystopian fairy tale, which is a different world, and it's a future which Kiera Cass is thinking, like it's not something that's gonna happen or something, but it's a dystopian fairy tale type story. Whatever happens, and then there is caste and lower class, middle class, and everything stuff, but not like this. Like, they have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 classes, and that's how they determine, like, who is one, he's a prince, and two, he is a little bit less, and then 3 4 5. So America is 5. She's a singer, her whole family is singer. So they try to live their life in a good way, but because they have money problems and stuff, so they are not in a really good shape right now. And I've read it so before, I have forgotten all the names of her siblings. I don't remember, but her father is a very nice person, and he has always stood with whatever America wants. So here they have she has a chance, her family has a chance, because she is very beautiful and very talented. She can be one of the, can participate in the selection. The selection is the competition where 30 girls will be selected, so that they can participate and win Prince Maxon's heart, and whoever will win this competition, and she will become the new queen, and and Prince Maxon will marry her. So that's how it goes, and if she participates they will get money and stability, and life will be good, and they will have a lot of opportunities on their life. But she doesn't want to go because America already loves Aspen is her childhood friend, her boyfriend and everything, and she loves her. And now there is a thing, Aspen is 7, so he is lower class than America. So that's why Aspen is worried that they won't catch up, and that's why Aspen breaks up with her, so that America moves on and goes to this palace for Prince Maxon in participating in this competition. So now what happens after going to the palace? What happens that if she can win Prince Maxon's heart, which she doesn't want to, but what happens and however it happens, it's in the 3 books, this one and the Elite, the one. So this is about it, whatever I said about the selection. And I love Prince Maxon because Prince Maxon is my favorite character, and undoubtedly, and I like Aspen of course, but I think he's a little bit not fightable type, and Prince Maxon is very nice, and I don't like America. So this is what I have to say about this book. And I loved this 3 books, seriously. I don't say the selection as a series, I say as a trilogy, because everyone says that these 3 books are the best, and I agree because I've tried reading the other 2 books. I'm not that much of interested, but I loved these 3 books. As I'll do a rating video, as I said on another video, so I'll tell you this. Okay, we have come down to the last 3 books which I read, and it was between especially started in October and ended in December, which I told you that it took me, the last 3 months were all about reading. So the third book from the last, yes, the 7th book which I read, and that's the most favorite of mine of the whole 9 books I read in 2020. That's Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Now this is fully bookmarked because I loved the quotes and some parts so much that I bookmarked it, that if I read after a couple of years when I'll reread it, obviously I will, because I still have to understand a lot of things which I won't in this age. Well, and I won't understand in this age, so I will try to understand them after some time. So this is the book I can't stop talking about. If someone asks me that you can talk about it the whole day, I can the whole day, but I'll do a review video of this one. I will tell you in very recently I'll do this, but I have talked about it in all my social media accounts. If you are my friend or my follower or anyone, you know that I have talked about this most. I haven't talked about a book so much that I have shared all the quotes of this book on all my social media accounts. I have been so much addicted to this book that it took me 1 month to read it. Can you believe it? Because I couldn't leave this book. This is so good, and I love this book so much. It's all bookmarked, whatever I love, with the quotes and the parts and everything. So yeah, I love this book and I can't stop talking about it. So I'll tell a little bit of description of this book. It's about Elizabeth Bennet, who's the daughter of Mr. Bennet, of course. So this is about Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy is proud, and Miss Bennet, Elizabeth Bennet, is prejudiced. So this is what is about: Pride and Prejudice. Pride is Mr. Darcy, and prejudice is Miss Bennet. So Miss Lizzie Bennet or Elizabeth Bennet, whatever you say, when Lizzie Bennet goes to this dance ball. There she meets Mr. Darcy, who is a friend of Mr. Bingley. Mr. Bingley, with whom Miss Lizzie Bennet's family wants to marry, get their daughter Jane married to, like Jane to be married to Mr. Bingley, and Mr. Bingley's friend is Mr. Darcy. Am I explaining it right? Yes. So Mr. Darcy is a very proud person, because actually he has shown himself like that because he doesn't trust anyone, because he has a lot of money, very much money, and he thinks that whoever is friends with him or whoever will talk to him politely, they will talk to him because of his money. So what he does in this ballroom, that Elizabeth didn't had a partner to dance with, and Mr. Bingley and Jane danced together, and then Mr. Bingley said Mr. Darcy that dance with Elizabeth, or someone you like. Then Mr. Darcy insulted her, saying that she is only tolerable, she's only tolerable enough, and this thing was overheard by Elizabeth, and she just couldn't handle it. And from that time she started thinking that Mr. Darcy is a jerk, Mr. Darcy is a proud type of a guy, and he's so bad, and she become prejudiced to him. So that's why she never believes that Mr. Darcy can be good or can be otherwise, and that's how it goes: misunderstanding, mistrusting, and a lot of things. I love Elizabeth Bennet. She has got so much humor in herself. She can do everything, you can say. Like, she's so strong, such a strong female character I have seen. Like, in that era, you can imagine that era in 1800s, the girls had not so much independence, and Elizabeth speaks from a heart, but in an indirect insult voice that everyone who she is saying, the people can understand. I love that about her. Quote, I'll say, vanity not love has been my folly. So this is what Elizabeth Bennet says here. I love this book. I'll give you a review to it, but you can say the best book of 2020 for me, Pride and Prejudice. Have come down to top two. Actually, not to top two, the last two. So both of them I read in December. After Pride and Prejudice, I needed to read something which is not a classic, and I had to go speedily. So I read something which is very speedy, and I loved this book so much. That is Two by Two by Nicholas Sparks. This was the book that I didn't had with me because my cousin took it, but she gave it to me back. She read it, and she is not a Nicholas Sparks fan, but she became so happy after reading it because it's a divorce story in general. It's a romantic story, of course. It's 600 pages, but it flew away so easily. There are a lot of characters, and it's hard to explain. Russ Green is the husband of Vivian, and they have a daughter together. The daughter is 5 or 6 years old now, and then after some time, like when she became pregnant and all that, so Russ got fired from his job because of some stuff. I won't give spoilers. So and that's why Vivian started to work, and then they have this distance slowly growing, and London, who used to be so attached to her mother, started getting attached to her father more than anybody else. So Russ Green starts to take care of the daughter and everything, and then one day Vivian came and told him that I want a divorce. That's how the story goes. And also Russ meets his ex, whom once he dated, the one he truly loved more than Vivian as well, because she was the love of his life once, that is Emily. And he has a big sister who is March, who is so good. I mean, who is so like, he's like, she's like his best friend. Like, Russ shares everything with her. And one thing about her sister that I love the most, that she loves Emily, the one Russ dated before marriage, for a very long time. And Marge just says him to get together with Emily again because he's obviously getting divorced. So the whole story goes like this, but there are a lot of twists and turns, a lot of things, especially the relationship of Russ and London, her daughter and father. Daughter father relationship is the best part of this book. Also, the brother sister relationship. These both relationships I love the most. Like Marge and Russ has such a comfort zone. A big sister, little brother, they have such a big comfort zone that I haven't seen in a lot of ways and in a lot of movies or books. And then Russ and London, they have such a good understanding, and they just, I don't know, the way London treats her daddy, like wow. And I also love Emily very much. She is one of my favorite, you can say, female female leads. She's one of my favorite female leads because she is really supportive. The time when Russ was getting a divorce and he was so broken at that time, he had to take care of London and everything stuff, and Emily supported him the most. So after March, they both actually equally. So I loved it. I love the book, and it's one of my favorites of 2020. So we have come down to the last book of my list out of the 9 books. Now this one is a Christmas Eve read. I had brought 2 books because I had nothing to do at that point of time. I wanted to read something which I can, like, because I have seen all the movies of Christmas, I guess, and I like to enjoy books like that, because I didn't know that I will get them available in my country, but I get. So I brought this book, another book, and I read this one. I read it in 4 days only. That is A Cozy Christmas in Cornwall by Jen Linfoot. Such a beautiful picture, the cover. I loved it the most. So I thought this book was my second choice, and the first book, which was my first choice, I didn't read it. I read it before this one, because I wanted to finish it before Christmas and in the Christmas Eve, and then I wanted to start that book in Christmas Day. But obviously things didn't go well for me at that time, so I had to finish it, and I couldn't read that. So whatever, but I didn't expect it to enjoy that much, because I had so much of low expectations to this book, and I had so much expectation with that book. I didn't read it, but I read it first, and I fell in love with it. And it has my one of the most favorite male protagonist, Bill. I love Bill. I can tell you, like, I have 3 best and my favorites. That is, um I'll tell that after some days in another videos. Yes, I can't say it wrong. So Bill is one of my favorites, and I love this book. This story goes on with Ivy, who is a who works in a farm where she decorates and stuff, and she gives the instructions to how to decorate and manage, like, kind of event management head, something like that. She works like that. And her boss, Libby, and her friend, they're both family, because her friend is her boss's sister. So they're both families are coming for the Christmas Eve, for Christmas, celebrating in Cornwall. So there is a palace in Cornwall, which is they thought it's really nice, but then when she came before, she was so shocked that it has nothing Christmassy, and there is no Wi-Fi, there are so many things, and this guy Bill is not gonna help her at all. He's just sitting and not helping and all that. So that's why, I mean, she gets pieces off, and then orders Bill to work, and then they start to work, and now they're able to manage it or not. And then Ivy has a something inside, a fantasy for Bill. The last time they saw each other, they know each other from before, and that time Ivy was with George, in a relationship with George, and Bill was single, but there was a girl, Gemma, who wanted to won over Bill, and these were the stuff. And from that time, Ivy had wishes that Bill should be with him, and Bill wasn't. So yeah, this is how it goes. And then we get to find out what Bill used to think, and what, and is Bill is a very arrogant type of a guy who doesn't want to do anything at all, and he's like so funny. I love at all the times when he does certain things. And also when Miles came, Miles is another character who started to try to impress Ivy but couldn't. So with him, Bill used to argue so much, and they had these competitions in mornings. I love this part. I really love this book. Really, really love this book. And this is in a unique way written with dates and also with chapter names. I like this. There is an epilogue as well. So these were my 9 books which I read in 2020. I'll make another video in this very recently. I'll make another video where I'll say how much I rated the videos and my favorite characters. Okay, so till then, bye bye.